Zaid's Shadow by Anisa Umar. Little Zaid loved playing in the garden. One day he saw a little grey thing following him around. It looked like a little boy. Zaid waved his hand at it and the grey boy waved back. Zaid jumped up and down and the grey boy jumped too. He spread out his arms wide like an eagle. The grey boy did the same. "Mommy, mommy!" cried Zaid excitedly. "Who's the grey boy who keeps following me around?" he asked, pointing to the ground. "That's your shadow," said Mom, smiling. "Why does he keep on doing everything that I do?" "That's because he is not another boy, but is part of you. Look, even I have a shadow, and so does the cat, and your ball, and the swing. And look at what a big shadow the tree has." "Wow!" said Zaid and began swinging beside his shadow. "I like him." As he played, Zaid noticed his shadow becoming smaller and smaller until it was just a little grey shape under his feet. Zaid was very sad. "Please don't go," he whispered. After a while the shadow was back again and Zaid smiled. "I knew you wouldn't leave me." Suddenly a gust of wind blew a cloud across the sun and the shadow disappeared. "Shadow, where are you? Shadow!" But Zaid's shadow was gone. Then the sun shone again and the shadow was back. Zaid smiled. Now he knew that the shadow was only there if the sun was shining. Just to make sure, Zaid walked under the shade of the tree and saw that his shadow disappeared again. "So that's how it works," said Zaid to himself. A little while later, Zaid noticed his shadow growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Now the shadow didn't look like a little boy anymore. It looked as tall as Zaid's dad. Zaid became a little scared. "What if my shadow is becoming a monster?" thought Zaid. "Oh no!" He tried to run away from it, but the shadow ran along with him. "Maybe I could cut it off," he thought. He took a pair of scissors and tried to cut it off, but the shadow was still there. "Mommy! Mommy!" Zaid began to cry. Mom rushed outside. "What's the matter, dear?" she asked. "Mommy, my shadow is becoming a real monster!" he cried. "Don't worry," said Mom. "This is just the way Allah made it. In the mornings, when the sun wakes up, your shadow is big. As the day passes, it becomes smaller and smaller until it is just under you. That's at noon when the sun is high up above us. Later in the afternoon, as the sun moves towards its sleeping place, your shadow starts to grow bigger. Then, when the sun falls asleep, your shadow disappears." "I knew it worked with the sun." "Uh-huh," said Mom, giving Zaid a tight hug. "Now let's go inside and I'll read you what Allah says about shadows." Mom opened the Quran. "It's dark now. I'll switch on the light so that we can see well." As the light came on, Zaid's shadow appeared. "Hey, Mom, my shadow's back. I thought it worked with the sun." "Actually, it works with light. And you know the sun is the biggest, brightest light we have." "Right. Now let's read about the shadows in the Quran." Mom opened the Quran to Surah Al-Furqan, verse 45, and read, "Do you not look at your Lord, how He makes the shadow to get longer? If He wanted to, He could have made it stand still. But then we have made the sun its guide, and then we draw it in towards ourselves and make it smaller easily." In another verse, Allah tells us that the shadow makes sajda to Him in the mornings and evenings. Just then, Dad came home from work and Zaid told him all about his shadow. Later that night, Dad and Zaid had fun making shadows of animals with their hands, and Dad also made Zaid a special shadow puppet show. Soon, Zaid was tired. He prayed to Allah, thanking Him for the shadow he had, and said his dua for sleeping. The end. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आई है तो लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, कमेंट करके हमें बताइए कि आप और क्या देखना चाहते हैं और हमारे इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग द वीडियो। विल जॉइन अस एट आवर फेसबुक ग्रुप द फेबल मेकर्स।